I can't hear you. You're muted.
Man, my bad. I'm sitting here. I'm muted. My bad. West of the 110. I'm here with Miss Loisel. We come in here with this another West Warriors Sunday interview. I had to reach out. I said, let me reach out to the other side of this little country we have here and see what it's like over in Florida. So go ahead, Miss Loisel. The floor is yours. Tell people, where you're at, a little bit about yourself before we get into these questions. And first and foremost, thank you for being a part of this show. Hey, the floor is yours. I'm gonna go on mute. It's all yours.
Oh, okay, thank you. So my name is Miss Loisel. I'm living here in sunny Florida. So I'm actually in the Tampa Bay, the greater Tampa Bay area, and it's a really nice place. I can show you guys outside right now. There's a little alligator over there. The wind is absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, so I have a little dog over here that's enjoying the sun and Florida. So I would definitely say Florida is like a paradise. Like I've been many places, and I definitely am partial to Florida. Not just in the United States, but all over. I think it's like a paradise that a lot of people don't really know about yet. And it really, you come here and you want to keep living here, but you're in California, so you're on the other side of paradise there. So, like, so that's another paradise with the volcanoes and the great giant trees and the mountains and snow and different seasons and stuff and beaches. And yeah, so you guys have a lot going on there as well. So, yeah.
Yes, we do, but it is expensive in California. I don't know the price to live in Florida, but in California, ooh.
I've heard. So whereabouts are you?
You know what, me? I'm like in the downtown Los Angeles area, the DTLA area where everything's going on near the crypto arena, not too far from USC. I actually ride my bike to these places, so that's how close I am.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's cool. Florida, Tampa Bay area, So are you into sports? Are you a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan or?
Of course, I mean, of course I'm a Bucks fan. I mean, I was going to college back in the day and I was going in and out of Bucks games, and I've even worked at Buck games for different brands. It could be a Coca-Cola or something else, anything just outside of the Raymond James Stadium, just giving free giveaways or whatever. We're raising awareness for the day.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I like the Buccaneers. I mean, I was born in New Orleans, so like when I was little, my mom wouldn't watch TV at all, but Saints were playing and there would be a game and she was like, eyes were glued, Saints are playing. You know what I'm saying? So I am partial to the Saints too. I know they're in the same league and some people are like, you can't like both. Oh, well, like, so who do you like for football?
Well, I'm a diehard Houston Texans fan.
Really?
I mean, I've been rooting for the Houston Oilers for years, and it's kind of crazy. You say you're originally from Louisiana. Like my family is originally from Alexandria, Louisiana.
Wow.
So I've been down south a lot, so that's where I took a liking to the Texans. A lot of people from Louisiana back in the days moved to Texas or California. So, shout out to Houston. I love Houston is my second home. Texan fan till I die. Shout out to the Blessed to Be a Texan fan page that I'm part of, man. We rolling. Yeah, man. But I'm saying, you said you used to work, if I'm not mistaken, work in front of these stadiums, work with the team, the Buccaneers for Coca-Cola as doing what, if you don't mind?
So like I could be outside of the stadium and just right outside, like if you go where you're walking in to go to the tickets, for some reason the Coke's right there. But I've done that event several times at the Raymond James, and that's just like Coke Zero, like best Coke ever. It could be Coke Zero, it could be a different Coke or whatever. But usually, say we're doing Coke Zero, you'll just give the free giveaways. They'll be like maybe there'll be like some bracelets or just something that says Coca-Cola. It could be shoelaces. It could be like anything, like little small giveaways. And people like enjoy them. And it's just a brand ambassadoring job to raise awareness that Coca-Cola is here. in-house, just right outside the stadium? Does anyone want to have some Coke Zero with zero sugar and it's the best
Yeah.
Coke ever? Stuff like that.
Oh, that's good. And people, with dirty minds, she's talking about soda Coca-Cola, not the best Coke ever. Not, so just wanted to clarify that.
Oh,
Yeah, but hey, you ready to get into these questions or hey, what's
sure.
up? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, ask away. I
All right. Well, number one, do you believe a career should ever come before family, or is there a balance that needs to be struck?
Yeah, so that's a very individual question, I think. For me personally, I would put the family before career, of course, for me personally. Um, and it's very challenging because sometimes you need to put your career first at times. Your family is kind of like they have the game. You can't take them, like whatever. You can't be present for whatever it is. Um, because you have to work sometimes. But I think a lot of individuals are different, you know. I think there are reasons why you would want to put one thing over another at specific times. But for me, I would just put the family first in general, overall. I think you put God, myself, my family, job comes after the family. But could it come before in certain situations? Like this is important to prioritize this because of a deadline or something. Sure. Like my mother, she doesn't work too much, but she doesn't work for years. She's retired, but she's at home. She's like a family. My father is very family oriented. He was always about the family, even having a big family, even close friends, like that's the family. Work's very important. He's a medical doctor, it's important. But he'd always put the family first. There's times where work came, like were necessary, couldn't be home. Maybe we had to have someone else taking care of us at times when he's in residency, whatever. But I feel like my parents put us first in front of their careers and then put their careers, like their careers came. And I kind of have that same, like, I think family, God, people, these come first. The jobs, they can sort itself out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if somebody wants a specific career and you can't have a family with that career, you have to pick. For me, I would say family, but everybody's different. Maybe at that time you want the career, it just whatever's working for you at the time.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I got a question for you pertaining to something you just said, from the question you just answered.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel about, say, older men, maybe 50 and older, say starting a family with a woman maybe 23 to 30?
So like my grandfather was born in 1900 and his wife, when he was 30 something, was 15 years old. She had 15 children. Five of them died in the war and other children that miscarriage, whatever. But the 15 that were born, of five of them died during the war and 10 of them lived until a few years ago. The eldest died, or the second eldest, the eldest male. So just that's recently. So I don't see a problem with that, especially back in the day when you need someone to start at a younger age because those kids aren't going to live. Like when you think about it, 2/3 of those kids died from the war. Literally, five of them died during that wartime. So in certain times, it's necessary. So I don't have a problem with that. I don't see it. But for modern time days, a lot of women are more mature than men. So I feel like they can date a younger, like they can date an older guy because their maturity levels are more. I think it's kind of meant to be that way, but just a little bit, usually. But sometimes you have great distance. You know what I'm saying? There can be a big gap. I think it's okay, but it just depends, you know?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I wanted to get a woman's perspective from that. Some stuff I seen on social media. There were a lot of ladies criticizing this older man because he started a family, with a younger woman. But he was in the military for 25 years. He was in his 50s, retired, and he said, "Hey, I couldn't start a family with a woman my age because it's kind of hard." So
Yeah.
I said, a lot of people, they don't see it that way. They think it's just a manipulation tactic that every older person wants to manipulate somebody younger.
Yeah, and
But
some do, but it's not all the time. Some
not
people
all.
do take advantage of others, but it's not always the case. And people shouldn't just think, oh, just because there's an older guy and a younger girl, that's what's happening. I don't think that people should assume that. you know. But if the girl's very young and the guy's like I heard like there was these Mormons and the little girl, she was like 16 or something, and she was married to some 70-year-old, and she was calling the police like, I don't want to be married, like I'm stuck in this Mormon, whatever. And she got stuck with somebody else after that. But anyway, stuff like that where people are stuck and they don't want it. No, I don't think that's, but for the most part, I think leave people live their lives. If they want to be with that person, who cares? It's their life. They want to be together. Nobody else matters. And you know what I'm saying? Like maybe your family should get along and stuff, and friends and your works, what your sphere of circle of influence, whatever. But for everybody
Yeah.
else, it's none of their business. Let this military dude start his family with this younger lady that can have his kids, because a 50-year-old lady, most of them can't have their kids. Some of them can, some of them can't. But that would make sense. If he wants a big family, he has the time and ability to do it. Maybe he dies at 100. You know what I'm saying? And the lady dies at 50. And it's, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? But the kids, he has still his time to grow them, even if he was 80 and that's what he wanted to do. A guy, I would think that it wouldn't be come out as great being too old if you're like age and you're deteriorating kind of. But if you still have your mind about you and you have like a long family line, like your family lives a long time, then why not? You know? Like you can do that, I would think, if you want to, I don't know. So
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
thank you.
I think a lot of people, me personally, I think a lot of people should keep most of their business off social media for one, and a lot of these debates wouldn't pop up, or but hey, that's just me. Um,
Yeah, that makes sense.
so you ready for the next question?
I'm ready. I'm ready for the question number two.
Right. So how has living in Florida shaped or influenced your career path over the years?
Okay, so my career path. So I've had a lot of different career paths, and I would say that my career paths have changed drastically over time. But I think that living in Florida, I've had opportunities. I'm just going to come here so I can come a little closer to the phone. But I would say that I've had opportunities to um, do different jobs, different places. And I feel like Florida has given me a lot of opportunities versus somewhere else. Just the fact that the weather's so nice. So all these brand ambassador jobs, when the weather's too hot or too cold, like you don't want to be outside, like it's too much. Florida has so many gorgeous days, like just, like it's just so nice, so I feel like living in a temperate climate, for people that live in temperate climates, they can experience um this what I'm experiencing, and have more jobs that are outside. Like I do a lot of brand ambassador jobs that are outside. There'll be a lot of brand ambassador jobs, some promotional modeling jobs, some just different things, random things. And it's nice, So I feel like it's shaped me where I can try different things out that are more outdoorsy stuff. Whereas if I was somewhere else, I wouldn't be able to do that. And then it's nice because there's such a nice coastline. So doing jobs along the beach places, like maybe I'll get a job in St. Pete or Clearwater or anywhere, and I'll decide to take it because yeah, it's on the beach, and then I'll just do a beach job. Like when I would do Uber and Lyft and I'd get taken to the beach, I'd be like, yes, thank you. They'd be like, thank you for the trip. And I'm like, no, thank you for taking me to the beach, because now I'm already here. I don't have to drive. Like I'm already here and I got paid to drive here. So
A
that
mini
would work
break.
out. Yeah, exactly. I would take a break for a little while, just take a little dip or a walk or whatever, and just yeah. So that's nice. The coastline, Florida coastline. Um, I would say, what about Florida? When I first moved to Florida, I came from England, and I tell you what, it felt like I opened the door for outside, and it felt like India. Like that's what was in my head, because it was like jungly outside in the back garden. It felt like it compared to our little
Yeah.
garden. So the air, everything, you can feel it. It's different here, and it is literally like a paradise here. Like, and I feel like that makes people are happier in their jobs. They're able to take more jobs because they feel better about their jobs. So I, um, And I did do schooling in like SFCC, HCC, USF, Miami-Dade, um, just different. I'm trying to think of those colleges in Florida that I did, different USF campuses and HCC campuses. Um, and I'm trying to think if there's another one in here. There's I went out of the country too. But what's nice is, okay, so say you're at the St. Pete USF campus. It's super chill there. Like people just take a canoe ride for a break or something. You're gonna be like people are already in their beach
Yeah.
outfits. They're ready, you know. Like in downtown Ybor, you have a totally different feel than if you just go. You're already downtown, like just at USF Tampa. That's a really really nice campus. It's outdoorsy. Like my dad went there, I went there. Like my brother went there. It's a very nice campus. And so if you want to learn for your career, I feel like it's a great college, and we have some really good research colleges here that I went there. It's a research college. And it's a nice outdoorsy campus too. So you have more opportunities to learn, to do opportunities to make your career in places where it's comfortable. Like when I was in Poland, I would literally not see the sun for like a day or two when I was in medical school in Wrocław, Poland. Wrocław, you wouldn't see the sun for days when you were sitting in the library studying for a few hours, and those were the hours when that the sun came up and went down. It can be a little depressing sometimes. So sometimes you have to plan out your walk or your little break time during that short sun period. So I feel like having this sun, it makes people a lot more happy and a lot more able to live their lives and careers, you know? So how about you? Do you feel like it's easier to live in California or in a climate like this for your career or for careers or?
I, I mean, California, as far as living, it's always good living here as far as the weather and things like that. But just the cost of living here is getting higher by the day. Like, you can rent out a one-bedroom shack, like, a rundown shack you'll see somewhere in an old country town that they'll give to you somewhere down south. Out here, they'll charge you $2,000 to stay in that.
Really?
So, I mean, yeah, you got to be on the grind here. You know what I'm saying? Mostly everybody here has 2 or 3 jobs. Even some entertainers have a job. So, I mean, it's expensive.
Yeah, I've heard when I was looking for like just a shed to put my storage to take my stuff out of storage unit. And I saw a solar company because I wanted to use solar power to power the shed. Um, and just a little plug and light and whatever, and to put my stuff and insulate it, whatever. But when I called the solar company, this was California, and he told me that people actually live in these sheds. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, California is so expensive. And I said, that's illegal in Florida. You can't do that here. And he's like, it's illegal here, but people still do it because it's so expensive. He's
It
like, we
is.
know. Yeah, that's crazy though, like they should make it more manageable for people, And I heard that
Yeah.
the
I mean,
fires
it's wild.
somebody's awake.
Yeah. No, you good. You good. Oh, she wasn't asleep. She wants my phone.
Okay. She wants to play with daddy's phone, I get that. So so
Yeah.
basically I heard there's like a bunch of fires and volcanoes and stuff in LA. Were you okay through that? Did you make it okay through all the earthquakes and stuff like that?
I mean, yeah. Well, the fires and the earthquakes that really happened more towards the Beverly Hills side.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
that girl here. That happened more towards the Beverly Hills side. Going towards, like, how do I say it? Like Trump's area in Florida, like the Mar-a-Lago area, where it's wealthy. These are like the areas that got
Upscale.
burnt, out here. So your upscale areas, other than Altadena, that was more of like a upscale urban area, but you know, it's still
So it's
not being
good.
rebuilt yet.
Um,
Yeah, it's not being rebuilt. It's going to take a while, 3 to 4 years. A lot of people are still misplaced, but me personally, no, it didn't affect us. The smoke did, but that's about it.
yeah. How long did the smoke affect you for?
About 5 days.
Okay. Yeah, when I was living in LA, there were and just Santa Clarita, just north of there too, in Long Beach, there were fires more on the like on the way to Santa Clarita, and they would just come appear out of nowhere, like random fire happening, and nobody can take it out. They just like burn in California. In Florida, we have control fires. Like right down the road, there's a state park. Literally, it's on the same road as where I would live when I was younger, and off and on at times, but not in recent years. Not recent anyway. And there's a state park, and they literally burn it every few years. They burn it almost to the ground, and you just see these little sticks coming out. And I asked them, "Why are you doing it?" And
Yeah.
they said they need to do it for the plants. You know.
I mean, well, it seems like Florida has a plan with fire control. We always have these wildfires that do a lot of damage every year, and a lot of people may seem and ask the question, like, "What's up with California? This is going to happen. Why don't you have better fire management?" Well, like I said, it starts with the head of the state. If the head of the
Hmm.
snake is not good, the body's gonna fall. So, I mean, it seems like Florida has a plan. I mean, you say they do that regularly, so I don't hear about wildfires in Florida like you do in California. So I think we should adopt that plan.
Controlled burnings. Well, actually, I think it's better to have the wildfires because it certain things can't come out like a pine cone or something. It needs that fire to make new, like to open it
Yeah.
to, you know what I'm saying? So, and what the difference is, you guys have all these mountains and stuff, and it comes underground. Like a fire uh person was explaining this to me, and they said it makes like tunnels under the ground, and it'll be like stinky rotten, and it'll be like they'll be burning up gas passages, tunnels in the ground, and then it'll just spot up here and spot up here, and you have to try to control it, but you really have to. It's hard to do because it's under the ground and you don't know where exactly it is. So that I think is more on the California side, whereas we don't have so much underground because there's sea and stuff, and your sea goes straight down, it drops. Ours goes out, so our coastline going under is not as we're mostly flat, and we're very low to the ground. Like you guys are way the elevation. You know what I'm saying? So not in LA, but probably in
Yeah,
other
yeah.
places in California.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, Santa Clarita area. You say you were out there before, so
yeah,
when you start getting in those areas going up towards like Palmdale, Lancaster, that's where the elevation goes up.
uh, yeah, I was high up. I liked it though. It was
Yeah, yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Long Beach, I
Well, you
like
know what?
better.
What? Oh, Long Beach. Yeah, I mean everybody likes Long Beach. You right there,
Oh,
you right
really?
there by the water.
I was literally like not even 10-minute walk to this yoga thing that I would do on the water. There were yoga teachers that would teach on the meditation and different things that had a series going. So I would literally just walk from the house and then go there within 10 minutes, and I was on the beach doing yoga on the beach. So that was really nice in Long Beach because it's not one of those beaches you can swim, unfortunately, because of all the ships and the oils and stuff. So that kind of sucked about beach. But it's other than that, you know,
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to swim in Long Beach. No, not at all. But let me see. Long Beach. Long Beach is going to be a good site this year. Well, for the Olympics, Long Beach, LA. Well, the Olympics is taking place 2028 here, North America. Uh, so Long Beach and LA, they're going to host a lot of events, especially Long Beach water events.
nice. Like shipping events, like
I,
racing events, like shipping stuff like that.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
both.
yeah. That
Not
stuff. Yeah, not anything with somebody swimming. They're not doing none of this. Nah.
we're not doing anything.
None of that stuff.
No
Yeah.
marathons. No, no. I don't know if you're really supposed to swim in that water because it's the second largest port city in America. I think New York or something like that. Somewhere up there is that the biggest. And when you have that many ships, you can literally see the oil in the water. And it's just a shame that they don't do something about it and how polluted. It's just like, and they do. Some of the people, it's the local community that comes together that says, okay, guys, let's do a cleanup. We're all just going to go to the beach and we're all going to pick up stuff. I've done that before and put it in a pile, just burned it. And then they took over the island, or people came and they're like, you're not supposed to. And they're like, but thank you. We'll take it from here, whatever. So don't make a fire on there if you do it. Throw it in the trash. But I
Yeah.
don't know about California rules. But yeah, there's lots of beach cleanups, and it's nice that locals do that, and they care about stuff, like where I feel as in Florida and stuff, like they don't care as much about the sea, about the creatures, about, like that's why there's more war zones happening in California because people have an opinion and they want something to be a certain way. Floridians are just like, I'm in peace, I'm having a great time, I'm just chilling out with my nice sunny Florida weather. You know what I'm saying? So it's a totally different feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I would
Now, what
definitely
and what
say
about marijuana? Is it legal in Florida?
it's legal for me with my medical card, but for the people that don't have a medical card, no. So I would definitely say that California, when I was had a medical card in California, um, yeah, because I ordered it, delivery and stuff. Um, yeah,
Well,
there's
you
something
don't need
cool.
it anymore here. You know,
Huh? What was that?
you don't need it anymore here. You don't need it anymore in California.
Well, that makes sense. It should be recreational. It'll be recreational around the country at some point. It's just a matter of time. They're just slowing it down
Yeah.
because why wouldn't it be? And people are waking up. So the more people that are waking up are realizing that we need stuff like this. So yeah, it's legal here medically.
You know, medically. Well, you know what? Let me ask you this question since we're talking about this. How do you feel the country is being ran? You agree with the new legislation? With some of the things you were saying. Yes or no?
Do I agree with the new legislation? I would say yes, I want to agree with it, but I just don't know what it is. So which new legislation? Exactly.
Um, um, Coming out of the Biden legislation into the Trump administration, like, do you agree with the path he's taking us on? Like, speaking about wildfires and dips with oil, stuff like that. Do you feel he'll make a change in his presidency or not?
You're talking about Trump. Like, what do I think about President Trump running the country type of deal?
Yeah, and with some of the things we just spoke about, like you said, the wildfires, and why are these ships allowed to do things like that? Do you think he'll regulate things like that or not?
Um, so I'll be honest, I don't really keep up too much with the news. But I have seen some things on Trump, and a lot of people have a lot of not good things to say about him. Um, I don't know enough,
Yeah,
but like if I was the race before the last one, when you had Ben Carson, people like that running, the gifted hand, the neurologist, like I knew about him when I was a kid, and I knew how
yeah,
amazing
yeah,
he was. Like, so maybe I would have picked him
yeah.
if I voted, but I didn't vote. Or place a vote in. But Donald Trump, um, I would think he's trying to do some good things for America. I just heard that he hasn't even taken one check. So I thought, wow, he hasn't even taken one check. And they said, well, they forced him to, so he donated it all. So each month he just donates his check to some other charity. And I thought, wow, well, when you already are, you don't need the presidency money, they don't even get that much. It's from all the other things that they get the money from. So you really don't need that salary because you have all these campaigns and people giving you so much money and pretty much for you to do the things that they want you to do. Now, is it all from this King George family line, the presidents? I think so. I think they might all be related. That one fifth grader figured that out. Now, just because they're related from that guy that was trying to, the people came up with Magna Carta because of him, and then he came up with this line of family because of that. I do understand that, and in my mind, that's why that happened. I don't know, but what? So I just think it's a kind of like a continuation in a way of royalty in America in a way, but without being known in a way. You know what I'm saying? Running things. Now, are all of them bad? No, I don't think all of the royals are bad. But do I think that they have a lot of knowledge that it's okay to keep from humanity, whether it's practices that they know? Um, I think they should share these things. Like someone was saying that he had a little Hanukkah. Like Obama was walking around with the Hanukkah. This little like, God, he's gonna help you do stuff. He's gonna get stuff done. This little strong God. He had a little statue of that. He's holding these stones on when he's in Stonehenge. Why? These things have energy. And I feel like these people, they might be almost to enlightened way, like not enlightened as in like spiritually enlightened, but they've mastered like something, whether it's a business life or whether it's communication skills or something. They've gotten on a high level to some degree that other people have not. And whether it's this bloodline, do I think the bloodline has to do something with it? Absolutely, 100%. And do I think that they have things where um, Donald Trump wants to let people know about them? I think he wants people to know things. And I appreciate that he's like with who was the one that was shot because he was just going to tell the public and he put in that speech that he was just going to tell. He was a good looking man, president, and he had a pretty wife, lady, and the Kennedys.
Talking about John F.
Okay.
Kennedy.
Yeah, he was just saying in his speech because he wanted to see the UFO files. They said that's out of your jurisdiction, Mr. President. You don't need to see this. And when he finally sat at the White House for it was like a week or two straight, just locked himself in the room, like couldn't even leave, just went through all the files, went through everything was and had all the disclosure. He said he was like very saddened and in you know I almost like broken, from understanding what the hell's happening with humanity. And he said, I'm going to let these humans know what's happening with you guys. And because he didn't let us know in that moment and told us that he was going to let us know, that's why they killed him, because they didn't want people knowing, because he knew too much, and I guess I don't know, that was my thought. So now back then we weren't ready for it. That was the age of Pisces. As of 2012 we're in the age of Aquarius. So I feel like we have new winds, we have new airs, and these airs are going to let things be out in the open. Someone like Donald Trump is going to, whether it's bad or good, he's going to tell you straight, and this is what it is. Thank you. I want someone direct, straight, and to the point. Let me know. Now, if you're doing things like, I just heard today about the Neuralink, somebody mentioned it, that they're trying to do mind control with that. I've never heard that until recently. I didn't even know that Neuralink existed and that you could do telepathy with it. Because why would someone want to do that when we can already do it in our own minds? We just have to practice, you know? So stuff like this, there could be some shady stuff going on. They're going off world and off planet and they haven't told the masses, but they're just undisclosure. Look what happened when Trump went in. Who we have UAPs in Congress, in court, in the courthouse with disclosure, disclosing what's happening with the UAPs that we had in Miami. Aliens come out of the Navy came out of the portal and dragged these aliens back. Every cop was at that mall in Miami, every single cop. And on the news the next day, they're like, "Oh, aliens are out of Miami." Like, it's okay. Yeah, because the Navy pulled them into that portal that opened out up in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's nice that we're finding out that there's other life, that like he's just letting people know what's happening. Now, how he runs and I feel like this other life and these outer world and other things and what's going on, the fires, the solar storms, there are solar storms happening. That has a direct impact on the ring of fire, the volcanoes under earth. If you look, they're all connected. This has to be some type of system under the earth, some type of flowing lava that's the ring of fire. Then around these ring of fires, you have all these mountains and you have all these fault lines, right? So all the mountains has the fiery stuff underneath, like the breathing fire. When it comes up is when we have these solar storms that activate it. Like, wake up, fiery stuff, I'm activating you. We have solar storms, unheard of, the polar shifts changing. Why don't people know more about what's going on with the planets, the energy, the stuff like this? I feel like he could focus more on like spiritual things and waking people up in this way, like spiritually, and the connection that it has with the sun and nature in general. Like these fires, it's not just coming out of nowhere. No, these things make tunnels underground. That's how the guy explained it to me, because I was asking about the fires. It's like, why do they do this? How do they do this? And if you haven't noticed, why are they burning all the stuff from everywhere else? If these unnative things are here, let them grow. They're already here. Let the native things grow. Why are we taking all the brush along the coastlines? If we're getting all these earthquakes, tsunamis, these hurricanes, we need our brush and our trees and all this stuff along our coastlines. Yeah, you can have some beaches, but you also need that. So I think, yeah, we need to make some adjustments here. So yeah, there's always room for adjustments. I don't know exactly what he's doing with everything, but I have heard like things like secret space programs and people being in them, and like And I don't know if that has to do with him or way before. I heard that when Biden was running the president, really, Obama was kind of doing it from the backstage. Who knows if that's true? Because he was older, you know, whatever. When that point came to point, when I have no idea how all this works, but I'm just sharing my thoughts with you guys on here about Donald Trump. I don't really know him too much, but I know that they had I think he married a Russian lady, maybe, or Ivanka Trump. I had one of like a Sue or something.
Slovenia.
Slovenian. Okay. Well, I knew that like they had a somewhat good Russia was like, well, if Trump gets elected, then it will be okay because he was pushing for Trump to be elected. And this is Russia that cares about our president. It actually makes sense because what's going on in the world with some of these major power other countries, you know, like he has a way of being friends with people and making, yeah, pissing people off, but he'll give it to you straight. And you might not like what he has said, but you might have to go back and think about it and then come back and be like, okay, let's whatever. But at least he's giving you it straight and giving you options. Like, let's make a deal. Like a businessman, let's make a deal. You know, he's making these deals. He's, you know, so I think on some side of things, yeah. But I would say that's probably enough of me talking about Trump because I really don't know too much. So I don't want to put too much out there because I really don't know that much. So, yeah.
I mean, for somebody that doesn't know much, as they say, I mean that was a lot that you said. I mean, that was good talk right there about a subject or someone you really don't have that much knowledge about. So I mean,
Oh,
that was a
thank
good answer.
you.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. You know what? Like, I had two more questions for you, but you know what? I'm going to ask you another question based on the conversation we're having. You know, you seem very intelligent. What would you say to somebody who would tell you maybe you should read a little bit more about politics because you might have what it takes to be a politician? What would you say to them?
I might have what it takes to be a politician. You think I would be a politician? I don't know. I've never ever thought about that in my entire life to be a politician. I can't even imagine me in that position. It would be so serious and so um yeah, I could definitely lead the way. And I feel like I'm sometimes put in these leadership positions because people see that, you know, like when I'm anything, they'll just put me like teach these people or whatever, you know. And I've been in teaching positions as well and helped open like helped to open a school, like literally helped do this stuff. So I could do it. I do think I'm capable of it. Now do I if I did have an interest in being a politician, um then I would think that I would get into politics, not about like um, regular stuff, but maybe something about nature or something about um, more things connected to that, you know, and not like trying to make become a president from being a politician or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But would I be a politician to do something like that? Yeah, you know, I met this lady in Vietnam at this like coaching class that we're doing, this meditation coaching. And she told me that she was all over India doing like help creating rides for people and kind of in that for a political change. And she was literally going and organizing these things around the country to make change. And I think politicians can be in a seat of power to do that. And I think that I could be in a seat of power to make change, but I don't think that I want to be a politician and do it. That
Yeah.
hasn't that's not really my life path really. Um, I could see myself in a lot of things, but politics, unless it had to do with,
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you for the question. And how
I
about you?
mean,
You want to be a politician, HB?
no. I mean, you know, I voice my opinion a lot in my local, you know, council meetings in my area, you know, because I feel we should know what's going on directly where you stay. But only reason I say that because sometimes, you know, somebody that you don't know may see something in you that you may not see. And I say that to say this. I did a speech for a high school one time at their graduation. And, you know, I wrote the speech the night before. I knew the lady at the school. And I say, I'll do a speech. And some of the kids stopped me. Well, I won't even say kids because these were adults. It was like an adult school, and trying to encourage them.
Oh,
So one of the ladies stopped me and was saying, "Hey, I'm in college right now. I just had to come back and get my high school diploma." But she said, "Who wrote that speech?" I said, "Oh man, I wrote it last night while I was watching my basketball game." And she said, I'm in college paying thousands of dollars to try to write something like that, and you just told me you wrote that watching a basketball game." She said, "You ever think about public speaking?" And I'm like, "Never thought about it." So that's why I said, maybe you might have what it takes to make the change that you want to see changed.
thank you. And I do want to get into public speaking. In fact, I applied for some jobs to do seminar things because when you do a public speaking event, like I went to a mystery shop, like to this Asian buffet thing, they did a speech for like, and it was mostly for older people, thing. But anyway, it was medical. Anybody could have do it. But
Yeah.
so when I did it, um, I was like, this is easy. You just do this quick speech and it pays well. And why wouldn't I do it? I did a speech for a church, not last Christmas, the Christmas before that. And I thought, this is like, these people are listening to what I have to say. And it's a powerful message. I did not write that speech, but it was a powerful message that was written for me to give. And three different people at three different churches were doing it at the exact same time. I was one of those three, in those different the church, the Crossings Church, and we all did the speech at the same time. And I just thought that was really cool doing that speech. And I thought I need more speaking positions. And I do, like, because I feel like I can be somebody in the public, but I just need to figure out and what and how to do this. And I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm working on it. But yes,
Yeah.
I didn't
And
mind doing those.
when that was told to me, I looked it up. What you just said, I looked that up about the
What'd you look
pay
up?
for people who public speak. Man,
What'd you
some
look?
people get a lot of money. Um, the
Yeah,
amount of money
exactly.
that certain people make, for being a public speaker, a lot of money is made off that. So you're right. You're 100% right. Anybody who has that gift to be a public speaker, look into it. Shake off that timidness and make that money.
Really? Backstage has those opportunities, by the
Yeah.
way. It's an app. If you want a referral, I can send you it, by the way. But yeah, I found a few
Okay.
jobs on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. We've been on here about 40, going on 45 minutes. I got one more question for you. You know what? This is just going to be an open, freely question. So what's next for you in life, career? What's next?
What's next? So it's all open right now. It's like my schedule has just a few jobs on it, literally like a handful of jobs on it in the next month. Like I literally just make the schedule as I go day by day. A lot of times I pick up the job that day or whatever, but I'm definitely ready to make a change and do something else. And I just constantly have to make changes in my life because of a certain situation that I've been dealing with for a while now. And I'm trying to get help with this situation. But it is drastically affecting my work and my life and my health and my everything, all my life. So until my job in this world is to raise awareness about that situation, that's what I feel like what I need to do until it clears or until whatever, so that's what I'm doing. And when I was 12, 13 years old, do you remember what you wanted to be when you were about 12, 13 years old? What was
Growing up where I grew up at, you probably wouldn't want to hear that answer.
it? Okay, so we can, if that wasn't what you truly wanted to do, like you came to Earth for that mission, like that was one of your lifetime
Yeah.
missions to do, then you can just kind of go deeper in. Okay, that was the thing because of the situation where I was, but what was it really inside of me if I wasn't just right here and happy, whatever? What was it that really I wanted to do? Because um, certain cultures and peoples believe that you're kind of given that mission in life at that age around that time. Like the natives do this, they'll go out and they'll prepare times like ayahuasca retreats for when you turn 13, or I think it's around that age. It depends which country and where you're at. Could be 15 in another place. It just depends. But you're going out and you're becoming of age, and you drink this stuff and you connect with the spiritual world, and you find out what your mission in life is to do. And that's the natives will do that, and they'll this is why there's drinks like this, so we can communicate with other spiritual beings. And they left us these reminders, and they told us in meditations where exactly to pick what root and what bark from two different sides of the forest and bring them together, boil them to make this drink. That was done in a meditation from some spirit, some being, because the gods want us to connect with them. They want us to know them on that spiritual level. So my life is a spiritual life. I have a spiritual, very spiritual life, although I'm in the physical, very physical, and I can feel the physical world. It's very much physical here. So I know it's both. And not just spiritual, it's mental, emotional, so many different things. Electromagnetics, I think that's a whole other system, the toroidal electromagnetic universe that we live in. People have no idea about the world, the shape, the everything that we live in. Like the new year for the Hindu calendar was just a few days ago, like 3 days ago. It was right at the pink the Lex the new moon that we just had, and that accounts for the the lunar cycles, the solar cycle, and the major planets. It
Yeah.
even takes in uh, Jupiter's placement and all the planets' placements and all the effects of them. So all these have effects on us and change our bodies and our minds. And I know I'm not at a place right now in this position to give exactly what I want to do. But when I was about 12, 13 years old, when I was told to think about what I wanted to be, when I was about 21, maybe I was 22. I think I was 21 when I was asked this question by somebody that understood this and didn't explain it to me, just asked me the question what I wanted to do. And I said, I want to be a singer. And at that time, my mom knows I was singing constantly. I would be singing all day, all night. Like that was what I would do. That was my thing. Singing, dancing, I'd be wherever.
Yeah.
Like, and so I told him, or when this person asked me, I said, at that age, I wanted to be a singer, not just a singer, but a famous singer. And that's when I understood that's one of a mission in my life. That's if I wanted to do that. Could it be in a speaking position where
Yeah.
I'm using my voice instead of a singing position? Yes. But either way, I'm going to use this voice in this life, and it's going to be known because I have a star in my Jupiter. If you get your Vedic astrology in both, one hand's yours and one's your, it's supposed to be your partner's. But I'm not getting married. I'm not having this one hand. These are my hands. They're almost identical, like they're similar on both sides. So I feel like they're for me. It's two different life paths coming together. I'm finishing my second life path that I didn't finish all this unfinished stuff in the last one. And that's why I have such a crazy life this time. So I feel like I need to finish it in this life, whatever unfinished stuff, and which the psychic, the astrologer didn't tell me that, but I just had that feeling. And I feel like we are reborn and we come back. And so for this life, there's a lot of career things. There's a lot of things that I can do, but definitely more than anything, I want enlightenment, like to be enlightened. And not only that, but just when you are enlightened, when you are that bright light, like that sun in the sky, what happens when the sun comes up, guys? The darkness just goes away. It's gone. That sun brightens up everything. It's growing all the light from deep inside that dark earth. You can't even see that seed. That thing's popping up because it knows that sun's out here. Whatever's embedded in me, whatever high frequency being, whatever light, whatever is in me that needs to be drawn out, where I can just meditate and figure out and go in and figure it out. That's what I need, is that enlightenment, so that's what I'm looking for in this lifetime. How about you? What are you looking for, HP, in this lifetime? What are you trying to accomplish?
Hey, nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, that's deep. That's deep. You know, I feel we should be connected more. I think a lot of people throw a lot of negativity into the universe. They need to try to connect with the universe more and feed it with more positivity. Connect with the universe, and maybe you can find your way in life that you've been looking for, or find whatever path it is you've been looking for, because you need to connect back to the universe. Some people are so disconnected. They're more connected with the phones and watching phones and internet and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank
So
you.
I
Yeah,
agree
thank you
with
for
you.
that.
I agree with you 100%. You
And
you
I
have
agree with
to you
you.
have to read. So you have to. So, but yeah, I mean, Those are all the questions I had. I mean, before we get out of here, is there anything you want to say? I'll give you a couple minutes. I'll give you your own solo, man. Just say what you got to say.
I just want to say thank you, 100p, for reaching out to me for ask to see if I wanted to do this collab. It's and just my apologies for not understanding that the other collab was with all those people that one day, that same day. So we're doing it today. So thank you for having me today. It's been a pleasure, and thank you guys all on here on StreamYard, on TikTok, on Big O Live. I appreciate the 270 of you on Bagel Live still listening, and 60 on TikTok, and all of you guys on StreamYard and his channels. Thank you guys for tuning into us. I think he really, HP had a really strong message at the end to give us. We need to connect to the universe. Okay, so we are all, we're beings of light, and this universe of light that we're in, because it's cosmic reality. It's, you can see light in the sky, like it has some frequency, and it's electromagnetic. It has whatever, this energy that is out there. We need to connect back to this energy source within us, and it could just be going into the heart. Maybe some people want to just do some heart breath. Surah Flow, she teaches those heart breaths. It's just super easy. You just breathe in the heart and just feel it go. Or you could just feel it come, like you can feel the air passing through you, and just having the breath just kind of go through you, and breathing in and out, and just feeling that breath. And when you get that breath body connection, you can also get that breath like earth connection, and you can connect with Father Sky and Mother Earth. Usually when I do meditation and I want to connect with the universe, and this is Drunvalo Melchizedek's, that I borrowed from him with other things as well. But usually I'll find a laying or seated position, close my eyes. I will cross them to my nose. You can just practice with like a finger, or like going out and then up, because you don't want just to be here. You want to be kind of out and then up, and then go back. Look up here, but look at the light in your eyes at nighttime, because you can breathe through this. You can breathe through here, and you can awaken your light in your mind's eye. And okay, so when I'm trying to connect with the universe, what I'll do is I'll just close my eyes, and I'll just think about connecting with Mother Earth, and I'll just feel the breath, everything out of me just release. And then I'll just have this like mind's thought in my heart and mind to just feel this tunnel of light just come out of me, and just go all the way deep, 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 embedded into the earth. And when that Mother Earth energy connects with my light, it just automatically, it's an upsurge of just like cool water's just coming in, and you can feel that earth energy. It's just overflowing through the whole body. And then once I have that connection with Mother Earth, and I feel all of my old negative burn, like just it's ready to be recycled energy, I'm just putting that into earth, because Mother Earth is going to recycle that other energy. Rather than putting it out here, I'm just putting it deep into the earth. And rather than keeping it inside of me, I am releasing that. Because like this enlightened master told me at a meditation center, you just have to, like an ice cream scoop, you got to scoop all of this stuff out. So I'm just releasing all of that. And then I'm going to connect to Father Sky. So I'm going to go back into my mind's eye and my heart, and I'm going to connect these, and I'm going to channel that tunnel of light coming right out of me all the way up. And if the sun's at my it doesn't have to just be the sun, just all the bodies, luminous bodies of light. And I'm just going to connect to the sky and feel that healing rays from the sky, the winds, the calming winds flowing through me. Just, and you may even hear the wind talk to you. And I hear just the feel of it, just like cleansing you. It's almost like a cleanse, and you can feel the sky just filling you up with so much energy, and Mother Earth taking so much old stagnant energy, and Father Sky is just filling up us with energy. So this is a way that I like to connect, and this is Drunvalo Melchizedek's ways, which I don't know if he borrowed it from the natives or what, but he has going into your heart meditation book and CD that goes with it. I don't know. I used to listen to the CD, but I kind of just do it myself sometimes in meditation, and
Yeah.
recycle that energy and have it flow through me. and also project it out so it just radiates out to me and out into the world, out into the sky, out into the universe, and connect with the universe, connect with the multiverses, connect with all of these different dimensions, frequencies, realities. And that's when I'm trying to change my frequency and going to my mind's eye in the light and trying to change it. I haven't fully understood how I change my frequency, so I haven't gotten to that point where I know exactly how to like travel to all these places and do all these things. Like I haven't done these certain programs or whatever, like the gateway programs and stuff like that, to its full degree. I've learned a little bit. But anyway, so yeah, that's my connection. So thank you for having me, HP. And I'm super glad you mentioned that connecting with the universe, because I think that was a really good, nice kind of closing thing to have. So thank you for that, and thank you for having me so much. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Thank everybody for watching, on all platforms. Miss Loisel's platform, my platforms, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Hey man, this has been a good interview. And with that being said, real talk. It don't end, it just takes a break. I will see you next week. Y'all be up and be